Hello, beautiful people. It's Cinderoma. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're back again with another video. This is about the Chinese manufacturers and luxury brands. This is from the channel Kiki's Tea. The title reads Chinese Whistleblowers Shut Down Hermes and Louis Vuitton. Okay. Um, Something about this title is making me not believe this. But yeah, we're still gonna check it together, and I would love your thoughts and your contribution in the comments below. Let's dive right in.
Y'all, Hermes is out there fighting for their lives. The luxury brand is freaking out and hitting back with lawsuits against the very Chinese factories that just pulled the curtain back on one of their biggest kept secrets. And let's be real, the fashion world is shook. Here's the kicker. These aren't random counterfeit operations. These are the actual manufacturers who've been crafting the same Birkins and Kellys that Hermes turns around and sells for $20,000 and up. And now they're spilling all the behind the scenes tea about how those fancy made in France labels might not be telling the full story. From sneaky production shortcuts to leaked documents and TikToks going viral, this whole situation is exposing some major cracks in the luxury game. Hermes is in major damage control mode, but it might be too late. The truth is out and it's not looking pretty, so let's unpack this mess. Alright, let's rewind to the big lie that kicked this whole mess off. For years, Hermes has been selling this dream of luxury. Bags delicately handcrafted by elite French artisans and charming little Parisian ateliers. Sounds fancy, right? But here's the real tea. New reports and some damning receipts are saying that up to 80% of those iconic bags aren't being made in France at all. Nope, they're being fully produced in China. Not just pieced together, everything. We're talking cutting the leather, stitching, threading, start to finish. Then once the bags make it to France, Hermes allegedly adds a little hardware or stamps on them and slaps on a made in France because technically it was made in France, just not 90% of it. So when those Chinese factories decided to spill the beans and back it up with receipts, Hermes absolutely flipped. Now let's talk about Tanner leather style.
Well, some part of it was made in France, was it not? I know. Again, these brands, they sell the brand and they build their name and reputation to where they are today, which makes it a brand or luxury brand, different from others and unique from others. So listen, the fact that people are saying that they were lied to is what is not making sense to me. The brands did not lie to you. They did what every other business person or business people do. That is how it works. You don't expect them to reveal their source or their supplier or where they whatever. No, they're not going to do that because they want to keep or stay in business and they need their business to thrive. And no successful business person would want to reveal their source of their supplier or whatever. That means you're not going to come directly to them. You're going to go to the supplier or whatever. And the business is, they're not going to make money. They're going to stay out or they're going to be out of business. So look at it on the other side as the business angle. And you as a business person, let's just take you for example. Let's say you get your goods from a particular warehouse or store or whatever, and you know you're not going to sell the exact same price you got it, right? You're going to add your profit. So you want to tell me you're also going to review the source of your supplier to your consumer, to your audience, to the people who buy your product? Of course not. You're not going to do it because you know why? When you do it, you're out of business because people are not going, or your customers or the consumers or your audience are not going to come to buy from you anymore, or your target audience are not going to come to buy from you anymore. They're going to go to the supplier directly to get for the affordable price. So I mean, look at it like, okay, if you're in business, you're also gonna do the same, right? But they did not trick you. That's just the truth.
You know, the guy luxury brands probably absolutely flipped. Now let's talk about Tanner Leatherstein. You know, the guy luxury brands probably wish would just go away. He's not some random TikToker trying to stir the pot. He's a legit leather expert with a solid following, and his whole thing is buying designer bags and literally cutting them open on camera to show what's really going on inside. Tanner's been exposing the truth about these so-called high-end brands for a minute now. He was the first to call out Chanel for ditching real gold hardware and using in cheap plastic coated leather. He's taking shots at Louis Vuitton, Bottega Veneta, and yup, Hermes too. According to him, the leather in these bags isn't much better than what you'd fine and a $100 dupe. And the kicker, he broke down that making a Birkin actually costs around $600, including legit leather and solid hardware.
I have spent over $100,000 of my own money dissecting luxury bags, cutting them open, analyzing every stitch, every layer. Why? Because I had to know what made those bags.
Now imagine Hermes watching all this blow up with viral videos everywhere, people talking, and the truth spreading faster than they can control it. The wild part is that those Chinese factories weren't just making knockoffs, they were allegedly producing the real bags for Hermes, and then turned around and exposed the whole operation. Rumor has it Hermes is now allegedly threatening to sue some of these Chinese factories, talking about intellectual property and defamation. At this point, it feels like less protecting their brand and more like trying to clean up a mess they didn't expect to go public. Let's break it down for a second. Hermes pulled in $15.2 billion in revenue in 2024. That's a lot of bags. Now, if it supposedly takes 2 full days to handcraft just one Birkin, where exactly is this magical army of French artisans quietly churning them all out? Because the math isn't mathing. Something's not adding up at all. And Hermes isn't the only one playing this game. Brands like Prada, Chanel, and Louis Vuitton have been doing the same thing for years. They'll make the bulk of a product, like 98% of it, in China, then attach a zipper or sew on a button in Italy just so they can legally slap a made in Italy tag on it. It's all marketing smoke and mirrors, and people buy into it because there's this prestige that comes with European labels. But behind the scenes, it's just a very expensive con.
Who is the Chinese supplier behind product? Bags are from Sindafam Handbag in Dongguan City, Guangdong Province. It's a factory specializing in handbags for 54 years, and it produces 80% of the world luxury bags.
Now that people are starting to catch
4 years. Ask yourself the question. For people who don't even know about this before, who are just finding out, why do you think China is basically exposing it now? And how are they on the internet now? Remember before they were not on the internet, you barely find them, like you barely find them on the internet, right? So why is it that now they're all over on the internet saying and people are saying they're exposing? They're not exposing, because lots of people were already aware of this. Some people knew this, but still go to the brand because they already trust this brand, right? But no, the brands did not trick you. The brands did not. They were just doing their business, and that is it. They built their name to where they are today. And if you think that that was tricking, then I mean, I don't know, because how do you think China is all over the internet now and trying to say, oh, come buy to them directly? They need to see, you know what the Chinese manufacturers are doing? They need to stay in business. So they know if these luxury brands boycott them and go for somewhere else, they're not going to be in business. So they need to stay in business. So they need your money. So that's why they're coming to tell you, oh, boycott these people or don't buy from these people, come buy from them for cheap. They need to stay in business. So, I mean, it's a win-win for them. Whether you buy from them or they still work with the brand, they're still going to be the one in the winning end. Now, it's left for you to realize or to think. Ask yourself the question, do you need that bag that much, or do you need that item that much? If you think that is what is going to take you to the next level, high class or whatever, do you? And also, let's not forget that some people's idea or what people think as luxury, some people just think as affordable. That's just the truth. So luxury for some people it differs. All right.
on, resale prices are starting to drop. Folks are realizing they paid $25K for a bag that came from the same factory as a $400 dupe. And Tanner, he's been showing us exactly what's inside these bags. Ones that claim to be full calfskin, but are actually made with cheap PU coated leather. It's got collectors second guessing and buyers straight up mad. Because if Hermes isn't really about quality or craftsmanship, then what exactly are we paying for? Just a brand name, the illusion. Here's the thing. For years, Western luxury brands have sold us this idea that made in China means low quality. But that's just outdated. Chinese factories today are making world-class leather goods. They've got the materials, the skills, and the machines to do it. In fact, a lot of luxury brands are having their products made in the same factories as mid-range brands and knockoffs. The only real difference is the label they slap on at the end. That's it. Western media has really drilled it into people's heads that made in China equals bad and made in Europe equals high class. But when you take a closer look, it's all just clever marketing. These brands aren't about craftsmanship. They're private equity owned machines cranking out overpriced goods for people who don't know any better. And now that consumers are starting to catch on, the whole industry is freaking out, and we have Tanner Leatherstein to thank. See, he's not out here working for any brand brand or trying to sell you anything. He's just showing his process, breaking down materials, and giving it to us straight. He even cut open his $1,800 wallet collection to show us exactly what we're really paying for. And what did he find? Disappointment over and over again.
Most of those bags I cut open, just expensive, nothing special. But a few truly exceptional.
Let's keep it real. These designer brands wouldn't be where they are without celebrities flexing their bags like status symbols. You think they're just buying Birkins and Chanel for fun? Nope, most of the time those bags are either gifted or they're getting paid to wear them. It's all part of a strategy. The brand sends Kim Kardashian a $60,000 bag and she posts it on Instagram. Suddenly every influencer and fashion obsessed person out there is scrambling to get one. You think you're buying luxury, but what you're actually buying is that celebrity seal of approval. And it's not just celebs anymore. Now influencers are in the game too. TikTok and Instagram are flooded with unboxing videos showing off luxury hauls, but what they don't tell you is that most of those bags are PR drops or brand partnerships. These creators are making serious money promoting bags they didn't even pay for, pushing the idea that you need a designer bag to be anybody.
Unbox my latest Hermes bag with me. This is my first bag I got this year. I usually get one bag a year, and this is the one for this year. And I'm really excited about it.
Let's dive into this Birkin game for a minute. At some point, owning one became the ultimate status symbol. But here's the thing, Hermes doesn't just let anyone walk in and buy one. It's not that simple. You have to earn the right by spending tons of money on scarves, belts, and whatever else they sell before
This. So practically, they are telling you it's not for everybody. And it's not for anybody. It's just for the people that know, and the people that get it, get it. It's just that simple. Listen, these brands do not trick you. They are just business people, good business people. And I mean, that's how you stay in business. Do you think if you want to be in business, you have to just reason and say, well, will people buy, will people not buy? No. They are like, well, let's get out there. And they're going to make sales, build their prestige, build their reputation, get to where they are today, which they did. And I mean, I'm not going to come here to say, oh, these brands were selling the illusion. No, they were selling their brand, because that is what they've built. And it's not just the logo. It's not just the logo, it's the brand. You're buying the brand. And that is what makes it different. Yeah, people will say, oh, go to the Chinese manufacturers to buy. You're not gonna get the label on it or the brand on it. Yeah. It all depends on you as an individual. Which you care more, or which you worry the most? Do you worry that you want the bag to have the label, or you don't want the bag to have the label, or you just don't care? You can rock anyone or any bag as long as it's a good bag or it's a good looking bag. It's also depends on you as an individual. But if we're being honest, these brands did not fool nobody. It's just the truth. It's a sad pill or sad truth.
They'll even consider offering you a Birkin. That's not luxury, it's more like a VIP club with a heavy price tag. And for some reason, people are still lining up to get in. Let's not forget about the resale aspect. A few years back, people were flipping Birkins like they were hot properties. But now, after Tanner's revelations and those factory leaks, prices are dropping quickly. If the so-called exclusivity is just a marketing trick, the quality is up for debate and the bags are coming from the same factories as knockoffs. Why would anyone pay top dollar anymore? Now, people are starting to panic. Resellers are getting nervous and investors are waking up to the fact that luxury bags might not be the cash cow they once thought. And honestly, this couldn't have come at a worse time for them. Ever since the US hit China with those hefty tariffs on imports, global brands have been forced to come clean. And guess what? Hermes is one of the brands that could feel the most impact. Because when the majority of your French craftsmanship actually comes from Shenzhen factories, you've got a serious problem on your hands. Child, this is a hot mess and y'all best believe that fans are eating Hermes up. They've been leaving comments like, ladies finding out they can get the exact same bag as Hermes Birkin from China for $1,500 and not the $38,000 charge in America. The trade war between China and the US, I'm sorry, but all these exposés have me like, all the luxury brands you people obsess over, even Birkin bags are made in China. Capitalism is wild. My question is, now that you know they're made in China, does it unluxury them? And the Chinese spilling tea on luxury brands is wild. Imagine buying an Hermes Birkin for $38,000 when it actually costs $1,400 to make. The Chanel bag that costs $5,000 is made in China for $50. So satisfying to see the Chinese exposing these luxury brands. This is wild, but y'all let me know what you think in the comments. Would you still spend $30,000 on a Birkin? Drop your thoughts in the comments and then check out this next video.
Exactly. Now that you know the truth, does it make it on luxury? It doesn't make it any on luxury. It's still the same luxury bag or luxury bag or luxury item. That's the truth. But let's also not forget that those people who broke up with their girlfriends or broke up with their boyfriends, divorced their husband or whatever because they could not afford to get them this luxury item. How are they doing? Only for them to realize that, well, they're all made in China, right? But this is not to mock anybody really, but it's just that some people just believe that um products made in China are not good products. That's just the crazy mindset, which doesn't even make any sense. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. What do you think about this so far? Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.